Hello, thank you for tuning into this channel. This is going to be the first upload I've made here. As I discussed on the introduction video, I used to make videos on another channel called Lewis C, which is a music channel mostly, so to stop the confusion between the two, I decided to make this one. So just to get it going, a subscribe would be much appreciated, or even a share would be amazing if possible. So first things first, like a lot of watch channels, I'm going to start with the watch I'm wearing at the moment. This is a Rolex Oyster Perpetual, my best watch, the watch I wear every day, mostly. So now that that's out of the way, let's talk about the main point of this video, and that is the Sekonda watches. Now, as you'll probably be able to tell, these videos are very much off the cuff. I don't use any notes and I don't use any editing, and that's not because I think I'm above it or anything like that. It's simply because I don't know how to do it, which is partly laziness and not having the software. So it'll not be a perfect sort of delivery, but hopefully you'll get the main idea. Some of you who used to watch my old videos will probably remember that one of my favourite watch reviewers and watch channels is Archie Luxury, and he doesn't seem to do any editing, probably for the same reason that I don't actually. Lazy-itis. Anyway, yeah, the main point of this video today is the Sekonda watch, the Sekonda brand. And it seems to me that whenever I talk about watches to people, it seems that even people who have, pieces such as the Rolex, the Omega, Tag Heuer, what you might often think as being the luxurious brands, they almost always have a Sekonda story. And whether that's about ownership or it's about, I saw a Sekonda here where I didn't expect to see one, etc. Everybody seems to have one, including me, obviously. It seems that Sekonda is very ubiquitous in the world, actually. I've seen them on sale, especially in UK airports, a lot. They're in most UK sort of mid-range and low-range jewellers. So we have a shop in the UK called Argos, which is sort of where you order stuff out of a catalogue. You would find these watches there. And that's mostly it. They're quite, like I say, they're quite ubiquitous, and my understanding, without going into too much research, was that they are watches you can get in other countries too. I remember reading somewhere that these watches were at one time mechanical, so they've been going for quite a long time, and you do still see them popping up on eBay and Chrono24, sites such as that, for sale, the mechanical ones. I think the watches were established in Europe somewhere, possibly even Russia, which is not Europe, but you know what I mean, somewhere around Eastern Europe or Russia. Again, that's partly speculative, I don't know that for sure. That's just what I remember somebody mentioning. It would be easy to research it, but obviously that's not the point of these videos. It's just to talk about the quality. So I'd say probably in my lifetime I've had 5 or 6 of these watches, and what's quite good about them is that they resell for a fair amount of money. You won't get back what you paid for them, but they are fairly desirable, I think, because they offer basically a very affordable homage watch, yeah, it's a homage really, it's not a replica. They're not trying to rip off the brand so much. And you can get them in millions of different types. They make watches for men and women and children. A million different styles, a million different designs, waterproof rating, working bezels, stainless steel, some of them. And so I think it's probably worth showing you which ones I have at the moment. Now, whenever I see a nice one, I do tend to get it. In the past, I've had one which looked exactly like a Breitling Navitimer, and I think that might be about it, which was a nice one. So this is the most recent one here, and you'll probably notice straight away what this is meant to be. So for anyone who doesn't know, this is meant to be a Rolex Datejust, and you can tell that because first of all it has the Jubilee bracelet, which is this here, the way that the links are crafted there. It has a fairly similar clasp. It has what looks to be the fluted bezel here, fairly effectively done. It has a similar kind of numeral marker to the Rolex. If you bear in mind that that's Rolex there, it's not a million miles off, and it's just time only, no date, but it's obviously meant to look like a Datejust. Now the things to mention about this watch are the price point. So I think I paid £25 for this watch, and what you get for that is you do get a stainless steel bracelet, which is nice, and it's quite comfortable too. I can't complain in any way about the bracelet other than the fact that it's obviously hollow. Maybe that's not the right description. It's not hollow, but it's not heavy, it's not high quality, it's very sort of it's actually quite hard to describe because it does the job really well. It's just not heavy, it doesn't feel heavy duty. It feels quite light and kind of hollow. I don't know if it actually is hollow, it doesn't appear to be, but that might be an illusion there. So yeah, comfortable and does the job, but doesn't feel like something you would expect from a Rolex. Although, interestingly, the Rolex used to make these bracelets hollow too. So the bracelet's really good, actually. Very comfortable. Seems to be easy to resize using the pins. Yeah, so I can't complain about that. And if I put this watch on, you'll probably see that the Jubilee bracelet does look the part. It does. Does its job. Yeah, I'd say, in my opinion, that's executed very well. It's made it look like a Jubilee bracelet. The sizing of the case is fairly accurate as well, if not very accurate. Datejust's been typically a little bit smaller than the average male watch. I don't know the exact size on the case because I haven't measured it, but I think it executes it well. The watch case material I'm not entirely sure about. It feels quite plasticky, but I wouldn't be 100% confident in saying that it is plastic. It just feels plastic-like. It might be an alloyed metal, whereas the bracelet is stainless steel. It has a stainless steel back. Not that that makes a lot of difference, but it does. It has 50 meters water resistance, so technically you could swim in this watch as well. And I did used to swim in a 50mm Sekonda watch, the Navitimer styled one. So you could, and the numerals, so the markers, do have lume in them as well, which works really well actually. And I've tested this, it does work, it is effective. And it's evenly coated, so all numerals light up the same. Interestingly, the hands don't have lume, which doesn't make it so easy to tell what's going on exactly. The crown is perfectly adequate for what it is. You get a good action on it when you are changing the time. It's easy to do. It doesn't feel like it has a lot of it doesn't feel like it has a lack of resistance, which would cause you to find it hard to get some accuracy in the hands. So I'd say overall for the price it's an excellent buy for anybody who wants the Datejust look but doesn't have the Datejust money, which is very common obviously because these things are extremely expensive. And I suppose the only negatives for this piece will be it will be really nice to see it in what is an obviously all stainless steel construction. That would boost the price, but I think it would be a price worth paying. I have to say as well, I really do like the blue dial here as well. And the markers are applied, not painted. Very simple Sekonda branding at the top there, 12 o'clock. and I think it's executed really well. Really well for the price. It comes with a small plain black box, 2 years warranty, which is really good. It shows belief in the brand, and I would definitely recommend this piece here. So that's the first one. The second one is this one here, which is a very small piece. It's probably worth mentioning as well, if I haven't already, these pieces are obviously both quartz. This one I got because I really love the Cartier brand, but I don't have the kind of money where I can have too many luxurious watches. Simply, they're just too expensive to have a lot of them. So I wanted the look of kind of going along the lines of a Cartier tank, but not for Cartier tank money. This one was a little bit more expensive, and I think that's just because it's less of a typical design, so maybe slightly harder to manufacture. It has a square face, which is pretty small. It has an off-white dial with Roman numeral markers. One of the more interesting parts of this one is that it has a functional date window at the 6 o'clock point, and for some reason they've chose to have a gold crown with a blue sapphire looking sort of jewel there, which is very much borrowed from the Cartier design. The bracelet is not one I'm familiar with, and what I mean by that is in terms of this being a Jubilee bracelet and this one being the world famous oyster bracelet, I'm not exactly sure what this is replicating, but it's done very well. Again, the bracelet is stainless steel, very high quality, very well made in my opinion. Obviously in competition with a bracelet such as Rolex, it's not quite the same, but it's very good. The way this one's constructed is that it's with pins, on 2 pins on each part, and it's integrated into the case. So this first link here is actually joined to the watch case, whereas with this one here you would be able to take this whole bit off and put another strap on it if you wanted to. So a bit like the last one, the construction of this case, I'm not exactly sure what it is. It does feel like plastic, but I wouldn't know that for certain. It has the stainless steel back, a very comfortable and wearable bracelet, but this one probably design wise isn't for everybody. It sort of leans towards the more old-fashioned watch, I would say. Certainly predates the look of the Datejust, although that's been out for a long time now. So as you can see, that's very small, but again, this is the concept of these watches were going back to a time where watches were smaller. So there may have been a time where this was an acceptable size for a male watch. I basically bought it because I loved the design of it and I thought it was executed extremely well. As previously mentioned, this is a quartz piece as well, and I think this one was between £40 and £50, which I think is a fair price to pay. Japanese movement, doesn't state which one it is. Could be Miyota, could be anything really, but I don't think Japanese movements are inherently looked down on in this hobby. I think Japan, in terms of watchmaking, has a lot of respect, certainly for pieces such as Grand Seiko and Seiko in general. So I think I have to say my experience of Sekonda is that it's done extremely well, actually. I really do like their pieces. It's something they can offer somebody who perhaps doesn't have the money or the stupidity to invest in watches such as this, because I could have bought 1,000 of these for the same price as this, and to the average person nobody would perhaps notice an awful lot of difference. So I think they've really got an excellent place in the market for that in terms of business, and there obviously are a few other companies that do it too. So I do think they really have nailed the look of the watch. I don't know how close to the copyright border they are, but yeah, for now they seem to be here to stay, and they've certainly been around for a long time. I think the price point is really good. Personally, I think you're much better off buying a watch like this than you are buying a fashion watch. Simply because at least this is an actual watch company who have only produced watches, and I think that is generally in the watch world considered a wise thing to do. But I do enjoy it. Yeah, they're a bit of fun, these pieces. Easy to wear. Clearly some work has went into them. They come in nice boxes. They'll always have a 2-year warranty, which is great. And I think for the less brand conscious watch collector, I think they're a really very good option, and there's so much choice out there with them and availability that I think it would be, even for the serious collector, a fairly wise choice to give them a go. As you probably know, Sekonda will be an extremely valuable company, so I'm not sponsored by them to say anything good, because they won't have a clue who I am, and I doubt they'll ever see this video. So this is my unfiltered and unbiased opinion, and I suppose the final conclusion is that I do believe Sekonda are a brand worth buying into. They offer very good value, very good design, even if it is kind of plagiarized design, but they offer good quality, and it's at the right price point, if I can get that out. And I would advise anybody considering one to give it a go. It's kind of harmless at this price point. Not to say even £40-50 isn't a lot of money, because it is, but I think it's not the kind of thing that's going to financially screw you over for years if you give it a go. And you've always got the option of putting them on eBay, where people do often buy them. So, as of what will come next on this channel, these are the two kind of less famous watches that I'm going to talk about. I'm going to go on to review this piece here, and another 2 Rolexes who don't belong to me, but I have them available to review. I'm going to just talk about an Omega Constellation. I'm going to talk about a Michael Herbelin watch. I'm going to talk about a Patek Philippe watch, which I have access to, and a few others will probably come up too. So if you have any questions or suggestions for this channel, please let me know. I'm hoping I can generate as many views as I did before, just because I enjoy presenting this kind of weird format to people. Surprisingly, I did receive quite a lot of compliments last time of people saying that they enjoyed the kind of conversational dialogue of it, which was interesting, because I honestly believe that it's extremely boring, the way I present it in comparison to other amazing YouTubers. However, people have asked that I started to do it again. So please do share your opinions below, and like the video and subscribe if you get the opportunity, and let me know if you have any experiences with Sekonda. So until next time, I will see you very soon.